Good morning, Bison Nation. This is your tutorial on how to make an answer key only test in Performance Matters. So, this feature allows you to take a test that you already have in your classroom or in your lesson plans and create a online opportunity for you to get data analysis of that because we're going to align it to standards. So, what you're going to do here is you're going to be in Performance Matters. You're going to go right here to tests and you're going to create new tests. There are many opportunities to create all kinds of different tests, but for this tutorial, we're going to keep it simple and just expose you to something that's actually very simple to use. And then we will start exploring more difficult and more time consuming ways to make a test, but that you'll have access to for the time that we have Performance Matters. Okay, so once you're here, you'll see you can edit your test. And if you look over here to the right, it's going to say answer key only. This is the most important step you're going to do because it has to be done first. So you're simply going to click over here and then you're going to identify how many answers or how many questions you want on your test. And then you have a selection of answer choices. Because some of you may use A, B, C, D, and then some of you may use A, B, C, D, E. There's actually one, two, three, four if you scroll down. So there's lots of different opportunities, but we're going to go with the most basic one. All right. And for the tutorial, I'm going to use 4 questions because once I do one, every single one after it's going to be exactly the same. So I'm going to click OK. All right. And you can see that now I have generated my 4 questions. And I'm going to go over here and I'm going to give it a title. GCS has asked that we use a simple naming convention. So you're going to use the school code for HPC, which is 406. Then your last name. This just simply tells the district that when they're looking at this, that this test belongs to Barfield, who is currently at High Point Central. All right. And then you can give it whatever name you would give it at this point, whether it's your unit test 5, your super quiz 22, whatever it is. I'm going to just say sample answer key only. I can give it a description and I'm going to assign it a category. Classroom assessment is fine, and you can still share it, even though you see down here you'll see shared classroom. You can still share it if you choose classroom assessment. All right, I'm going to assign it to the appropriate course, and since I teach math, I'm going to assign it to the math classroom. If I've made a mistake and I should have assigned it to social studies, click the X, it'll open back up, click on social studies, and here we go. So let me fix that, put it back at math. Grade levels. So I'm going to assign it to ninth grade and I can assign it to multiple grade levels. So 10th grade, because depending on if I'm teaching math 1, math 2, you've got different age groups that could be enrolled in your class. And then here, performance band, that is set by the district, just leave it alone. 10-point scale, just leave it alone. You can create a new one, but I do not recommend it. Okay. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have my test in front of me. And at this point, I'm going to start choosing the correct answers. So I'm going to go over here. And for our purposes, it's going to be simple. This one's going to be A. This one's going to be B. This one's going to be C. And this one's going to be D. Okay. Now, if you notice up here, see this little I where it says answer key only and this popped up? This issue has not been here before, but for whatever reason, it's become an issue now as of July 22nd, 2019. So once you are at this step and you've completed this, you've given it a name, you've identified the correct answers, the platform needs you just to go ahead and click save one time. And what that does is that generates this test ID number. And you can write it down somewhere, but I promise you, you can find it on the portal. It's not hard. All right. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go and align it to standards. Okay. Now, let me just show you something really quickly. If you're thinking, I have no clue what my standards are. If I go over here to items, actually performance matters. Let me see if I can open in a new tab. Yes. Okay. So right here, really quickly, I've opened up Performance Matters in a new tab. So I've not stopped what I'm doing here. It's still here. Well, let's just say you're like, I have no clue what my standards are. This is going to take 2 seconds. Go to Items, Standards Explorer, and then we're in North Carolina. Okay. You've got Essential Standards, you got Standard Course of Study, you got State Subject, Standard Course of Study. All right. There's your naming conventions to find your standards, and then you can open it up if you want to. So if I want to take math, open it up a little bit further, I can see what they are. So I know that if I type in nc.ma.2011, that's going to pull up my math standards, and then I'll be able to pick from there. And then here you've got these. You've got nc.ma, and then these are my naming conventions. So it's just kind of giving you a heads up on how to start typing in your standard. Same thing for like English language arts. If I type in nc.la, it'll bring up my standards. So if I click back over here and I type nc.ma, it's going to jump right to North Carolina standards. Now, it's up to me what all those numbers are, but that's will just kind of give you that shortcut to how to find it here because it's a long list of stuff. So I'm going to pick this one. And then here I'm going to do nc.ma. All right, I'm going to scroll down here and I'm going to pick a different standard. I'm not being picky for this tutorial. nc.ma. Let's scroll down and find one in 3. There we go. Let's say this one. And nc.ma. Let's see if I can scroll down here and grab, let's say this one. Okay, now we're going to click Save. And there you go. So I have created a test. It is standards aligned. Okay. It is my responsibility to know exactly what those are. But now I'm ready to go and print answer sheets. Now, if you look at it at this point and you're thinking, oh, I made a mistake, this standard actually is not correct, you can edit it because the minute I click this X off, look at the save comes right back up. I can go back nc.ma. I can scroll down, find the correct standard, whatever it is, say it should have been this one, and click save again. And there you go. So you now have an answer key only test. You can go in here and do test preview. Now, what it's going to do is you can do the online administration, but we're not going to do that for our purposes. We're going to do a scan sheet. So if I just do scan sheet preview, you can see down here at the bottom, a PDF has come up. If I click on that PDF, here's what that scan sheet is going to look like. Now, the great thing about the scan sheets is that this information will actually be pre-coded for you, and I'll show you how to get that information on the next video. Okay? All right, so hopefully this is helpful. If you have any questions, let me know.